Hello everyone. So in this video, this is just me planting a couple things, and I do want to talk about what I'm doing here. So in the first half of the video, I'm actually just planting some Dusty Miller, and even though Dusty Miller is not native, I haven't seen it really expand in my garden except for just kind of expanding width-wise. I haven't seen it make a bunch of babies and be invasive or anything. So it is a plant that my grandpa used to plant in his garden, and so it kind of has some nostalgia for me. But another reason I like it is it grows pretty well in my garden, at least in another area of my garden it does. And I noticed that it's just got that striking foliage that contrasts pretty much anything you're going to plant. So this is not an endorsement of Dusty Miller. It's just me planting some. But the main thing I wanted to show you about me planting this Dusty Miller is actually, I wanted to show you that you can get things for a lot cheaper than you think sometimes. So look, I'm going to actually pull these apart, and they came in the same pot. And I think each of these pots said $1.78, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to rewind the video and see, you can look at the tag. I think it shows on the clip, but I'm just dividing these because there's actually multiple plants per pot usually. You just want to do this really gently. You don't want to, stress the roots out too much, so you want to try to do it as slowly and gently as you can. But yeah, I just divided them up so I'd have more than what I actually bought. At least it seems like it. You pay like $1.78 for one plant, but really you're paying $1.78 for like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 plants. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I planted these because I know they grow in other areas. I like that contrast of foliage, and they're super easy to grow. So here I'm just watering them in. I like to water things and then stop and then let the water soak in a little bit and then water them again. And I do this just so that the water can really soak in and it doesn't all just run down the hill, because you're going to find out as you watch my channel, if you are interested in watching it, you're going to find out that my garden is on a hillside, especially the front garden. The front garden is definitely on a hillside, and so that affects the movement of the water, that affects the drainage, that affects pretty much everything in the front yard. So sometimes I almost fall on my face because I'm on a hill. And but anyway, that's another story for another time. And I just wanted to talk about the next thing I'm going to do in this video. The next thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm actually going to plant some violets. And these violets are native in my area. They just grow on their own in my lawn, actually. And I'm going to dig some of these up out of my lawn, and I'm going to transplant them into my beds. And I noticed that since I did that last year, I actually have a lot of little baby violet seedlings. You can see them in some of this footage. A lot of these little tiny seedlings you see at the very bottom of the garden, they just have the 2 little baby leaves so far. Those are mostly violets. So I technically didn't even need to transplant any more violets from my lawn to my garden bed right here, but I decided to go ahead and do so because it's such a great ground cover, and they are a host plant for the Fritillary butterfly in my area. And I am gardening in East Tennessee. This can be true for a lot of the east end of the United States, but check your local area, research your local flora and fauna to find out if that's true for you. So here's the violet in the lawn, and I just decided that I was going to transplant these from my lawn to my garden beds. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to take whatever tool you're going to use, which I have this garden knife. I really love this garden knife. It's awesome. And you just dig it out of your lawn. And you're going to have to work kind of hard at this because the lawn typically, at least mine, gets very compacted from walking on it. I kind of use my lawn as more of like a pathway through the garden, if you will. You're going to have multiple plants in there. Some of them are going to be weeds. So you definitely want to tease those apart. You want to pull that violet apart from everything else as much as possible, because you do not want those invasive grasses. You don't want the invasive creeping Charlie. You don't want any of that. So here's the prepped area where I planted all of those violets. And I just watered them all in. And you'll notice on the right, I also planted some evening primrose. It's those little pink primroses, you know. I noticed a lot of those were popping up in my lawn too, and that they were really good at self-seeding. So I decided I'm going to transplant some of them from my lawn to my garden beds. Now I did find out that I thought the evening primroses, those pink primroses, I thought they were native, but I guess maybe they're not. I don't know. Do your own research in your area, of course. But I'm finding that there are a lot of plants that I thought were native in my area that might actually not technically be. So I'm still learning a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye! To support the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my work by buying art from me at macylou.com. Thanks for watching!